Hey guys, so today I'm going to tell you guys the story of the time that I was stalked, okay? And this was way before I was even just a little bit cute, because I had braces like no other. I didn't know how to dress cute, like I don't know. I had no idea how to be cute. So anyways, I move over to Flagstaff, okay? And you guys should kind of know that's kind of where I'm from, because I go to NAU. You guys ask me all the time where I go to college, and that's where. I just do it online now, so I'm not in Flagstaff anymore. But I moved there, and I was like a junior in high school, and there's this downtown area that's like really cute, you know, has like all the little shops and bars and all that fun stuff. And if you know Flagstaff at all, it's like a super hippie town, you know. Anyways, if you go to Flagstaff, obviously go downtown, walk around. But so I'm walking around, and I went down. You know, you smile at people, everyone that walks by, you just like do that fake smile, and you're, you know, just so that, I don't know, it's like the polite thing to do. You know, you see someone, you're like, you know, I don't know, it's just, it's what you do, right? So I smiled at like so many people. I've already gone on the other side of downtown where the train tracks, like past the train tracks, and then I came back, and I was going back, and this guy is running towards me. I mean, like, running towards me. And so I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, this is happening, right? So then I start going into like, I don't know, I was just trying to understand like what was happening. So I was like looking around, and I was like, okay. I was like, there's people around, right? So if he is running towards me, hopefully somebody around would do something to help, right? So that's my first thought. I'm like, okay, so if he is coming towards me, then it'll be fine. So I look, and I'm like waiting, he gets closer, and I'm like, oh, I saw this guy like at the beginning of my walk, like 30 minutes I've been walking around already. Like I saw him a half an hour ago, and I was like, oh, I saw him, you know, he was helping move some stuff into the store. I smiled at him just like everybody else I smiled at. And he comes up to me, and he's like, you know, because he's so tired from running. And he says, I've been looking for you. I just had to come talk to you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I really have to go. And so and where I was going was my mom used to work downtown. So I was just walking back to her work, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I really have to go. And he looks at me, he's like, you are just so beautiful. I was not. Anyways, and I just had to find you and talk to you and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, I'm actually meeting my mom, so I have to go. Super uncomfortable. It was weird. Like, he was just like, you were so beautiful, I had to meet you. All this stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay. And I was like, I have to go meet my mom. His response is, I'll meet your mom. What? I'll meet your mom? No! You won't. You're not. No. So then I'm walking kind of fast at this point. He's walking next to me, and I get to the point where I look around, and there is no one around. Just me and him. I was like, okay. Criminal Minds episode is starting right now, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine. So then I start walking really fast. At this point, I look down to see how fast I'm walking, and he is literally jogging. He is jogging next to me to keep up with how fast I was trying to get away from him. And he just keeps telling me all these things like, oh, well, you know, like, I think I should meet your mom, and I think that you're just gorgeous, and all this stuff. And I'm like trying to get out of here, and I'm like going, and I finally get to the building. I look at him, and I'm like, I am going in there alone. And he steps in front of me, okay? Yeah, he steps in front of me to get to the doors, pushes me, and says, no, you're not. What? Excuse me? No, okay? So then I run around him, get in there, see my mom through the like protective glass, and I'm like, you know, I'm giving her eyes, and I'm like running in there. He's right behind me. And I get to the side door, my mom lets me in and closes the door right behind me. And then I can hear my mom saying, do you need anything? and I don't know what he says. I just go, and they hide me behind the desk, and he like walks over, he won't leave. He starts yelling about all this stuff about how he wants to change his life, and how I don't know. And then he sees me, because I was like looking for a minute. He sees me, and he just starts yelling all this stuff. And I was like, oh, like I was hiding. And so then they start yelling at all the people working in the front. And everybody's like trying to understand what the hell is going on. And I'm just like sitting behind a desk like, what the hell? Like, and so I'm sitting there. They call the cops on him. He eventually leaves. And then the cops show up like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. And they're like, hey, we found him. You have to identify him. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm 16. I'm a child. I was like, okay. You want me to go see him? Okay. And so I go out there. And I'm like, yeah, that's him, right? And he looks at me from the back of the police car, and he just yells how I'm a racist, and how that's why he's in trouble, because I'm a racist. And I was like, in my head, I was like, hell no, he did not just. This guy followed me, pushed me, told me I was not going in the building, followed me right there, started yelling once I got away from him. Excuse me, racist? I'm like, you were in my space and creepy and following me like from a half an hour ago and won't leave me. What? I'm a racist? That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing. So anyways, that's my stalked story. I was just insane. I was like creeped out, and then he didn't show up for his whatever. I don't know. It was a whole thing. I don't know. It was a hot mess, and I don't know. I say I was stalked. Maybe there's a better word for it, but like he just followed me, and then he looked for me for like a half an hour, and then he found me. I told him I had to go, and he just stuck by my side, and he pushed me. He would not let me in that building. Excuse me, like, what? That was insane. So anyways, that's my story. So I hope you guys found it interesting. It was not awesome. Not my favorite thing, to be honest. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time.